一緒に探してあげるわ。その前に一休みしてお茶を飲みましょう。
ついに太陽を克服する者が現れた。よくやったハンティング。これでもう青い彼岸花を探す必要もない。ね
え奥様
増やしたくもない同類を増やし続けたのだ。あの娘を食って取り込めば私も太陽を克服できる。私は本当の不死となるため青い彼岸花と太陽を克服できる体質のものを探す。見つけた。あの娘が太陽を克服し取り込み、私は日の光を克服する善なる存在となるのだ。私が嫌いなものは変化だ。
After Muzan finds the Demon Slayer's headquarters and confronts Ubuyashiki, we see every Hashira rushes towards Ubuyashiki's home, and as Kaguya sits up and holds his wife's hand, he looks at Muzan right in the eye, showing no fear to the man or his threats. As the two younger twins we've seen since Season 1 go to their father's side, and Gyomei starts to remember when he met the Master, thinking about how Ubuyashiki Kaguya spent every day of his life visiting the graves of Demon Slayers until he couldn't walk anymore, and about how he looked before his disease began to progress. Flashing forward a bit, the Master told Gyomei that Muzan will arrive within the next few days, so everyone should use him as a decoy. And as Gyomei and the others near the Ubuyashiki compound, a giant explosion can be heard as Ubuyashiki takes himself and his entire family out of the equation, staggering Muzan enough for Tamayo to sneak in and make Muzan absorb something that would make him turn into a human, as Gyomei dives in and knocks off Muzan's head.
Esse som tá vindo de longe, mas tá se aproximando. Esse cheiro... De cima! Pra trás, Tanjiro!
Há quanto tempo? Tô surpreso que você ainda tá vivo, mesmo sendo tão fraco. Tanjiro! Gamado!
Akaza! Hinokani Kagura! Caixa! Eu consegui. Eu desviei e contra-ataquei cortando o braço dele. Da próxima vez, eu vou mirar no pescoço. Hinokami Kagura. Genichiko.
Tanjiro, isso foi incrível! Suas habilidades se igualam às de um Hashira agora! Ainda mais considerando que o seu oponente é a Lua Superior 3.
Esse garoto não é fraco, não o insulte. Agora sim eu acredito que o Kyojiro disse naquele dia. Você não é fraco. Eu vou mostrar meu respeito por você. Jutsu Shiki Tenkai Hakai Satsu Hashin! Então, vamos começar?
Oniにならないなら殺す。お前も鬼にならないか。
何なんだこの男の強さは。
必ずお前の首に刃を振る。 Tomioka自由に言われてきたという。
During Akaza's final battle with Tanjiro, he almost becomes Muzan's level. Akaza is a demon who threw away everything else and only has one goal: to become stronger. Over the 100 years that Akaza has been a demon, he's honed his Soryu-style martial arts and developed his blood demon art to the point where it can seek out strong opponents for him. However, after Tanjiro cuts his head off in their final battle, Akaza refuses to fade away. First, we see Akaza's head crumble to dust like usual, but his body doesn't crumble at all, and we see him continuing to attack Tanjiro and Gyu, who are both absolutely gassed from the battle. Tanjiro realizes that Akaza is trying to evolve and get rid of his weak spot, becoming more than a demon through sheer will. But as Akaza evolves, he starts to remember his past and all the people who were part of his life that just wanted him to be happy. And as he falls to his knees, remembering Koyuki, his only love, she says, "Welcome back, my husband," as the two begin to burn up and they go to hell together, never to be separated again.
mete, mete, toma, toma, soca, soca, vai piranha, vai safar, te empurrando a piroca. Empurrando a piroca, sequência de mete, mete, bota, toma e soca.
música electrónica.
Why so serious?
反応速度を上げてきた。俺の動きに戦いに適応し始めている。扇から舞い散らす粉氷を吸わない。あの指文字がスーナだったとしても、ギリギリの戦闘をしていて吸い込まないのは至難の技。この娘、ややもすると今食った柱の娘より実力があるのかもしれない。
血気術、寒熱の白姫。
危ない。目を閉じなければ眼球が凍ってた。
血気術、チリレンゲ。
大量の刃、それとも凍る血気術。見極めて正確に。被害は最小限のところ見極め。
おりゃー、勝負勝負。獣の呼吸、ゴーの牙、食い裂け。殺してやる、ゴミが。
Shinobu always had a smile on her face, but she's one of the characters filled with the most rage in her heart, as she hunts down Upper Moon 2 Douma during the Infinity Castle arc of Demon Slayer. Shinobu realizes that this is the demon who ended her older sister years ago and attacks Douma while he talks about not being able to eat her because the sun was coming up. And over the course of the battle, Shinobu shows her amazing speed off, piercing Douma repeatedly with her poison blade, repeatedly trying to get the right mix that Douma can adapt to and overcome. Eventually, when her poisons don't work, Douma hits her with an attack that shreds her lungs apart, and after a last-ditch attack, Douma hugs Shinobu and completely absorbs her into his body, ending her life in the process. But later in his fight against Kanao, Douma begins to break apart, because apparently Shinobu had so much poison coursing through her own veins in preparation for this that it finally managed to take down the Upper Moon, as we see Shinobu and her sister running into heaven.
Performance was demanded of me, and now I have delivered. Encore!
You need a ride?
Leave me alone!
Where are you going?
やはりそうか。
これが上限の位置。他の上限と比べ物にはならない。重厚の差は威厳すらある。そして刀を指ったが刀を持っている。この男はもしや鬼狩りだったのか。しかも相当な使い手のおぞけが止まらない。体が先導を拒否している。こんなことは生まれて初めてだ。
お前名は何という？
時ともう一度。
なるほど、そうか。耐えたのだな、次国の名は。
月国？誰のことだ？
何百年も経っているのだ。戦方なきこと。私が人間であった時代の名は次国道勝。お前は私が次国家に残してきた子供の末裔、つまりは私の子孫。
子孫？僕がこいつの？まさか信じられない。じゃああの男は始まりの呼吸の剣士。落ち着け、取り乱すな。関係ない、落ち着け。
精神力も申し分ないようだ。ほんの一瞬で動揺を鎮めた。
霞の2のやい霞。
なかなかに良き技だ、霞か。なるほど、悪くない。無一郎、年の頃は14あたりか。その若さでそこまで練り上げられた剣技、私にひるみはしたものの、それを抑え込み切りかかる胆力。たとえ名はたどえようとも、私の細胞は増えて残っていた。たとえ名はたどえようとも、私の細胞は増えて残っていた。
おちょくってるのかな。もし仮に末裔であったとしても、何百年も経ってたら、お前の地位も細胞も俺の中には一つ影も残っていないよ。
あざ、そうか、出ていったのか。
霞の呼吸、七の型、おぼろ。
初見の技だ。霞の呼吸の使い手はこのような技を使ったことはない。独特の緩急、動きが読みづらいか乱も兼ねた技。実に良き技、流麗で美しい。無一郎が編み出した技なのだろう。こちらも抜かねば武器法というもの。一致の型、やみつき良いのみや。
木の呼吸。鬼になっても呼吸による剣技が使えるのか。異次元の速さだ。霞の呼吸、
素晴らしい。腕を失ってすぐに失血。そこからさらに攻撃をしようという気概。若末裔よ、あの方にお前を鬼として使っていただこう。
私はここにいる。
Demon Slayer is a series where not everyone makes it, and one of the saddest losses we see in the whole series is that of Genya. In the Infinity Castle arc, we see Genya, Tokito, Sanemi, and Gyomei all facing off against Upper Moon 1, because that's just how powerful the demon is. And if it wasn't for all of them working together, they would have lost easily, given that 2 out of the 4 people here lose their lives. As Genya tries to figure out how he can be helpful in this battle of Hashiras, he eats Kokushibo's blade to gain a huge amount of his power and manages to actually land some significant damage. But Kokushibo spawns blades from all over his body and lets out a massive attack that travels and splits Genya in half right down the middle. But Genya still uses Hantengu's blood demon art to help his brother by growing another tree out of Kokushibo's body. However, when the battle is over, the Wind Hashira wakes up screaming and crying as he sees his little brother's body crumbling away like a demon, thanking Sanemi for being the sweetest brother in the world.
Let them eat cake.
That's such nonsense. I would never say that.
Upper Moon 1 tells Tokito that he never expected to see a Demon Slayer from his very own bloodline, and that something about it moved his heart. So he'll bandage Muichiro up and prepare him to meet Muzan as a replacement for the other Upper Moons. As Kokushibo gets distracted by Sanemi and Gyomei during their battle, Tokito frees himself and manages to join the fight by piercing Kokushibo right through his ribs as Muichiro tries to pin the demon down using all of his strength. But when he's cornered to escape, Kokushibo lets out a massive attack that slices Muichiro right in half like Frieza. But even still, he holds onto a sword of his one remaining hand and puts all of his will and power into it, turning Muichiro's sword a bright red, which disrupts the demon's healing. However, after the battle, Gyomei lays Muichiro down and closes his eyes as Muichiro is reunited with his brother in heaven with no regrets in his heart as a hero.
Alone, baby. You're my baby. You're my baby, and I love you so much. Oh, God. Ai, você me dá muito calor. A minha chata é um incêndio e seu pau é um extintor.
of the Demon Slayers are sent into Muzan's Infinity Castle, Mitsuri and Obanai are tasked with finding the demon who controls the dimension itself, Nakime. When the two Hashira find Nakime sitting in the center of the castle and playing her biwa, Mitsuri dives in for a straightforward attack, but Nakime controls the castle to create a door that knocks Mitsuri out of the way. As the fight continues on, Nakime starts trying to get rid of the Demon Slayers by sending all sorts of rooms and doors flying at them, trying to crush the two. Later on, as the battle progresses, Muzan sees through Nakime's eyes that Obanai and Mitsuri have been taken out, but actually during the battle, Yushido managed to sneak up on Nakime, placing a seal on her face to control her vision, and placing his hands in her head, giving him full control over the Infinity Castle. However, Muzan, realizing that this could actually get really annoying, closes one of his hands, and at that moment, Nakime pops like a balloon as the entire Infinity Castle collapses.
It's just me, myself, and I. Solo ride up till I die. 'Cause I got me for life.
Nezuko wakes up during the final arc after everything that's happened and starts to remember her past memories. After Tamayo gave Nezuko a potion that would potentially turn her back into a human, Nezuko runs to try and reach Tanjiro and Muzan, who are having their final battle. But as she gets close, one of her eyes turns back to normal as she starts to change back and remembers her entire family as they rested in their simple home as the snow fell and Tanjiro was gone for the night. And their door opened and Kibutsuji Muzan himself came walking in with an immediate attack using his long demonic arms. Afterwards, Muzan tells Nezuko it's pitiful that she died from only the small amount of his blood that he gave her, being upset that he can't create a demon that can conquer the sun. But little did he know, that's exactly what he did. As Nezuko finally reaches Tanjiro's battlefield with her hand on her face crying, saying, "I am Nezuko Kamado, and my family was slain by a demon," showing us that she's finally back to normal. Slowly over the course of the series, Obanai and Mitsuri Kanroji get closer and closer, with the two working together in the final arc to help destroy Muzan's Infinity Castle, and giving us a lot of cute moments with Kanroji fawning over the Serpent Hashira. Things get tricky, however, during the final battle against Muzan, when the King of Demons doesn't hold back at all and starts tearing the Demon Slayers apart. And during the battle, he fatally wounds Mitsuri as Obanai continues fighting until the very second that Muzan burns away, getting terribly injured as well and losing sight in both of his eyes. As Mitsuri realizes that she doesn't have much time left because she can't feel her body, Obanai tells her that he'll go too so she doesn't have to be alone or feel like she didn't help, because he won't let anyone complain about her. Mitsuri cries into his arms, telling Obanai that she loves him, and the two agree to marry each other if they're ever reborn into this world again, as the two fade away in each other's arms. During the battle against Muzan, when everyone was working together to take him down, we see him lash out and send every Hashira flying as Gyomei gets sent into a wall with the loss of one of his legs. He remains unconscious for a while, but finally stands up and begins to drag himself back towards the battle with his chains in his teeth, as they're too heavy to carry for the moment. Muzan creates a big shell of skin around himself and nearly crushes a group of Kakushi before Gyomei uses his chains to pull it back and hold Muzan down in the sunlight, but as Muzan tries to dig through the ground to escape, Gyomei's chains start to snap and he exerts all of his remaining energy to keep him there. In the end, Gyomei collapses and tells them not to waste their medicine on him, telling them his final wishes for them to save the young ones as he sees the spirits of the orphans he failed to protect, finally giving him some closure as they hug him and hold his hand to guide him to heaven. Muzan's weird outer shell starts burning away with Tanjiro inside of it, everyone starts celebrating that Muzan has been defeated, but something is wrong. Everyone is completely out of it, with the strongest Hashira all passing away as soon as the battle ends, and the Kakushi trying their best to patch Inosuke, Zenitsu, and Sanemi up to save their lives. On the ground in the middle of the battlefield where Muzan was, sits Tanjiro, who's missing an arm from the battle and has a broken blade, and everyone begins to mourn Tanjiro because he has no pulse and isn't breathing, which causes Giyu to break down and apologize for always needing to be the one to be saved. As Nezuko arrives in her human form, we find out what actually happened here. In Muzan's final moments, he decides to entrust all of his emotions and his will to Tanjiro by giving Tanjiro all of his remaining blood and cells, hoping that Tanjiro, like Nezuko, would be able to conquer the sun. And as Tanjiro's body begins to move, he looks up and begins to completely heal as Tanjiro becomes the new king of demons. In Tanjiro's soul, he starts to cry as Muzan tells him he shouldn't be allowed to be the only one who gets to survive without losing anything. From behind him, he can feel hands pushing him upwards, and we see that they're the hands of all the Hashira who didn't make it, helping Tanjiro escape. But Muzan, in a last-ditch effort to keep him there, says this is all delusion and none of it can actually save him. But Tanjiro's nose picks up the scent of Shinobu, and in that moment, he sees a flood of wisteria flowers blooming beautifully above him as hands reach through the wall of flowers and grab Tanjiro's hand, saying let's go home. Tanjiro realizes that this is Nezuko and begins crying even more, but these are tears of happiness, and Muzan screams at Tanjiro to let go of that hand, calling Tanjiro a one-of-a-kind being and that he was chosen by the gods to carry out Muzan's goal of becoming truly immortal. But everyone's hands pull Tanjiro out of the darkness as Muzan cries Tanjiro's name out one last time and says don't leave me behind.